We are here with legendary. Oh gosh, you guys, would it be a live stream if I didn't flub up my words? We are here with legendary makeup artist and YouTuber Wayne Goss. You guys, this is a pinch me moment. I've been watching Wayne for years. I can't believe we have him on this live stream. I can't believe I get to share him and his knowledge with you guys, my most favorite people ever. And we're going to talk about what we love talking about here on this channel, and that is makeup over the age of 40. The things that were always working, that were tried and true, that were our staples, are suddenly not working. Why the heck is it not working? We're going to ask Wayne Goss about it. We're going to ask him what he thinks, and he's going to give us some really amazing techniques and tricks. I'm going to share some really cool things that I've learned recently, some new products, some drugstore finds that I find are working really well on the more mature face. I'm now part of the 40 Club, you guys know. So I feel like I'm allowed to talk about this because I've got all my little things, my enlarged pores, my little fine lines, my marks of joy all over my face. So we're going to dive into all of those things with Wayne. I see that there are so many people already online. You guys, where are you logging in from? Do you have a drink? It's going to be an hour and we're going to have a lot of fun. Hi, Laura. I saw Lori in here. Lori's my girl. Bethany, Brenda. Oh, this is awesome. All right, you guys, enough about me. Let's introduce Wayne.
Hi, good morning, Wayne. Good evening. It's good evening here.
What time is it for you right now?
It's 2 minutes past 11 p.m. It's bedtime.
You guys, we had a little bit of a situation because he's like, I logged in and I was like, oh, it's not now. It's like in an hour from now. He's like, that's 11 o'clock my time. I'm like, oh boy, I'm so sorry.
I'm old. I'm like, I watch bedtime.
It is bedtime for all of us. Oh, look, we have someone. Greetings from Scotland. Brenda's in Scotland. Prince George, BC. Oh, I love British Columbia.
Someone on my time zone. Beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't seen Wayne in forever. Wayne, we miss you.
Well, here I am.
Even Lori's saying here, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
And Joelle saying she goes to bed at 9, so she understands.
This is a beautiful thing, honestly. I used to be such a night owl, like truly 2 or 3 a.m. And now I go to bed so much earlier and I wake up, of course, at the crack of dawn as well.
Yeah.
But I'm good with it.
What do you do in the morning? Like, what's your morning routine?
So I was just talking about this with my partner because we just saw some nutcase online. So, well, I wake up at 4:30 and then I meditate for an hour and then I have cold water. I'm like, no, you don't. It's like, no, you don't. I have a coffee. I sit at my computer. That's what I do every morning. I'm not doing any of that stuff. No, I'm not. Don't lie. You're not.
Don't lie.
They know they're lying. I'm 40 minutes meditating at 4:30 in the morning. No, you're not.
That's what I'm doing at 4:30 in the morning. I'm meditating by sleeping.
Exactly. I'm literally just, all I want is a coffee in the morning, sit quiet in my computer so I can doom scroll for 2 hours. That's my morning routine. I'm quite happy with it.
Sounds lovely. Jeannie's saying here, long-time Wayne fan. So happy to see two of the nicest, most talented people together. Oh, you're the sweetest.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys, I wrote down questions because we have to be prepared for this occasion. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you guys what we're going to do today. So we're going to ask Wayne some questions, get to know him a little bit better, his journey a little bit better. Then we're going to do application. We're going to do audience questions too. So if you have a really good question, we can ask your questions instead of my boring questions. So leave them, okay? Makeup or about Wayne or whatever. Just leave them in the chat. We will star them and be patient because we will try to get to as many as we can. So if it doesn't pop up right away, we have started. We're trying to get to it. So let's pop up our first question. And it is, for anyone who may be newer to your work, how did your journey into makeup begin? Like, tell us your lore, your backstory.
I I had acne when I was 20. And up until that point, I pretty much sailed through my teenage years with clear skin. And then it just hit, and it was such a upsetting period. And the goal was A, to get rid of it, and B, to cover it. And that was how I got into makeup. And I was terrible at covering it because I didn't know what I was doing. But to me, it looked better than what was on my face that I was dealing with. But when the acne went and I dealt with it, I just was obsessed with skin and wanting people's skin to look like skin, but like a beautiful, realistic skin. And that was how it all started with makeup. And that passion and that obsession for skin is still there today, 26, God no, 28 years later. It's still there. I love it.
That is incredible. Yeah, Joelle's saying acne is so upsetting. It's so funny you say that because I also had horrible acne. I had to go on Accutane.
Yeah.
And I think because I always had like an ugly duckling complex growing up, like I never identified as being beautiful. Like I really, I wasn't beautiful at all. And I feel like makeup helped me feel better. And that's the story for so many artists out there. You know, they became artists because makeup helped them feel better when they did not feel very good because of acne or whatever.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing. And I don't think, unless people have experienced it, I don't think the impact that it has on how you view yourself. You know, I was genuinely, I hate to say it, but I felt genuinely disgusted with myself that this was on my face and I couldn't control it. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't know what to do or who to turn to. And of course, back then, this is 28 years ago, but you know, I was working, so I had a bit more money than I did as a child. So I was, you know, going to cosmetic companies thinking that, well, if I pay more, I'm going to get better results, right? This is going to go. And that just didn't happen at all.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Oh, this is such a sweet comment. Thank you, Britt. That's so sweet. I'm so glad that you feel so good.
Aren't people lovely?
People are literally the best.
They really are.
I want to ask you another question, but I have an audience question that I want to pop up first. That's makeup related. Then I want to go back to your backstory. But I think this is a great question that a lot of people have. So how do you keep your makeup from coming off when you or someone else touches your face? I use setting spray, but it still happens. What do you think, Wayne?
You can't. There's this myth, I think, that we all want this product that's going to just set the skin and then it's on there all day long. The problem with setting sprays is they work really well on dry skin, but oily skin or normal to oily skin, it's the oil that causes makeup breakdown. And setting sprays do not control oil. The moment oil starts to produce, the setting spray becomes useless again. That's why they can claim there's like 24 hours of setting spray, because they use it on somebody that has the driest skin you've ever met in your life, right? So their makeup's there forever. There's nothing you can do. The saddest thing, or the most empowering thing, is that makeup maintenance is a very real thing and you have to do it. And it keeps your makeup intact all day long. And yes, you're going to be touching up all day long and you're going to look great by doing it. And you just got to accept it.
Yeah, that's why when we work on set, that's what we do all day long.
Yeah, it's so boring.
Right? You apply that, you do a perfect application, and then for the next 14 hours, you touch it up. You touch it up. And that's just the reality of it. One way to minimize transfer a little bit is to take a really good translucent setting powder. You want to, I'll show you it really quickly because I have very oily skin. I'm not saying it's not going to transfer. Like if I put a hoodie on, you're still going to see that on the rim of the hoodie. It just is what it is, but it will make something wet kind of dry down into something dry and less slippery. So I just take a powder puff. I really pack. It has to be a loose translucent powder because a pressed powder like this is going to be dense and heavy. So you're going to end up with too much buildup when it comes to this type of application. Put it on a powder puff, rub the powder puff on the back of the hand, and you can press and roll. When you press and roll, you're pushing the makeup into the skin and you're creating like an airbrushed kind of effect that's going to minimize transfer. But exactly what Wayne said, when my natural oils start coming through in the next 20 minutes, it's going to start becoming a little bit slippery again. And there's no magic answer. And I wish that there was. Maybe we'll come up with one day.
Oh, I'm trying, believe you me.
It'd make us a whole lot of money. We should partner on that idea.
Or we'd be super rich real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back into one of my guys. You have the best questions, but I'm gonna ask one here. What's something that you believe about beauty that goes against what's trending right now? I'm dying to hear your answer on this.
So the thing is, I don't care and never have cared for trends. They're designed to sell product, a trend, and that's it. That's the main goal, is to sell a product. Or they're just regurgitated something from a few years ago and given it a different name. And the truth is, I don't care about trends. I like the classics. They never ever go out of style. Classic beauty, whatever you call classic beauty, might be different to me, but that's what I look at. And when I hate the trends. I really do. I don't find them beautiful. I don't find them achievable. I think they're all designed to make you feel very, very poor about yourself until you buy their product. And then you realize that, guess what? It didn't work anyway. I'm so negative, aren't I? God.
No, that's not negative at all. There's a difference between being honest and being negative.
That's what it is.
It's honesty. It is. That's a great question. All right. Should we answer another? You know what? I want to answer this one from Claudia, because this is trending. Speaking of trends, have you tried the new matte foundation from Rare Beauty? Actually, Claudia, I'm surrounded by makeup. I wish you guys could see my studio. I literally have like probably 300 products around me. I did buy it after my Selena Gomez video, and I did wear it 3 times already. Have you tried this formula, Wayne?
No, never.
It's very interesting because when Hung Van Gogh was talking about it in his video, he said, and the reason I really want it is it's self-priming, self-setting. And I don't think primers are really necessary to begin with. I think that they're a little bit of it's a product that promises a lot, but doesn't really do a lot. And oftentimes makeup artists very rarely use them. I will use them for very specific situations and with very specific formulas, but I actually talk about that in a video that's going up on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. But it claims to be self-priming in the sense that you don't really need to do much other than skincare under the foundation, which is kind of the case for all foundations. But anyways, with that said, it's also self-setting. So it kind of dries down. So what that means is it just dries down into a matte finish. I do actually love the formula. Everything that Hung said in his video about it looking better as the day goes on, I think that's absolutely true. It's a matte finish that's not flat. So if you take a look at it, can you guys see it? It still has like a skin-like finish, but it's not glowy or radiant. It does actually dry down into a more matte finish. So if you have oily skin, it's amazing. It's actually an incredible foundation. It's one of my favorites right now. And I can't believe that because I've tried like all of them. And it's also quite unique and it does self-set. I still put powder on top of it, but I do find that I can get away with not powdering as much, even with oily skin. And that's not the case for other matte formulas and other brands like the IT Cosmetics matte foundation. That's also matte, but I definitely need to powder that. This one, I don't know, it controls oil in a really nice way. So I really, really like it. Yeah, you should try it, Wayne. It's a good formula.
No, I haven't tried a matte foundation for years. There used to be one from a company called Makeup Atelier Paris.
Yes.
And I think it was in like a jar. And this thing was intense. It was so matte. And it was a self-setting one because it didn't need anything. And I just remember this, it was just this insane product. I'm sure it was really designed to cover tattoos and things like that,
Oh
but
yeah.
then kind of made its way into the face. But that's the last time I tried a genuinely like matte foundation many a
Yeah.
moon ago.
It's amazing like how different the finishes are. My video on Sunday, I go over it and I show it. There's L'Oreal Pro Glow and L'Oreal Pro Matte, for example. I showed both of them, and the matte really, it dries down like poreless. On oily skin, it can be amazing, but on dry skin, it can be a disaster. So you have to really know. But this one, like even seeing, we had some dry down time, you can see that it's not flat like a lot of matte. Like L'Oreal
Yeah.
Pro Matte Finish is quite flat. This doesn't read flat. It's an exceptional foundation. If you guys want to try something new and you like more of a long wear, full coverage, more matte finish, I think you'll actually really enjoy it.
I always feel that poor people with dry skin have such a hard time because you've got a hard time with application because you can't use a brush because then your skin is sort of flaking because it's dry. I don't think people with dry skin get enough praise for how they manage to deal with their situation and put makeup on and have it look gorgeous. Because it's like, as a makeup artist, it is your nightmare is please don't let them have dry skin. Because you're going to be struggling trying to get things to look smooth and flawless if their skin is sort of very dry and wanting to flake.
It's true because you get texture underneath. You get that almost like little. It's a challenging skin type to manage, I think. What's your skin type?
Oh God, mine is so oily, and it still is at 48. It's still like outrageously oily. I used to bring, because I love the Eve Lom cleanser, so I used to bring that with me and with a muslin cloth, and I would quite literally, especially for weddings back in the day, I would quite literally scrub their face with this muslin cloth and this cleanser. And I would say, you're going to have a breakout tomorrow because I would be, but it was what was needed to take that layer of skin off so that I could get this really smooth application. Those were, that worked a real treat. I love that product, by the way. Great product.
Oh, this is so sweet. Made alive with two of my favorite YouTube creators. Hello to both of you. Hey, Leanna. Thanks for being here. So just following on what you said, I want to hear a little bit more about that. So after your acne journey and your obsession with skincare, your obsession with makeup and covering it up for yourself, how did the evolution into artistry go for you? And like, what did you do in your artistry? Where did you work?
Yeah, I did train. I did actually train to be a makeup artist. And for those wondering as well, there's no registered qualification in the UK to be a makeup artist. I don't know, maybe now, but there wasn't at the time. And I did a full-on makeup course. It took a while, and it became quite, what's the word, apparent to me that I just wasn't that artistic. So I was never going to go into the fields of artistry and be this incredible makeup artist that could do all these great techniques. But I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And I struggled because I couldn't adapt. I found it very difficult to learn how to do eyeshadow, and lips were a major problem. But I persevered. I did the course. I was mediocre at best, but I wasn't going to let it stop me. And I did some work really briefly for television, and I hated it because I was really bored on set. Like I just stood there in the cold. This was not my life, right? I just did not enjoy it whatsoever. And then I was looking on YouTube, and there were so many wonderfully talented people on there, but none of them were teaching how to apply makeup. They were just demonstrating because they were so talented. And I thought, well, there might be a tiny gap here for me to do something. And there was no ads then or they just crept in at the time. So people back then were really doing it for the love of makeup, for the love of YouTube, for the love of their genre, because there was just no money. And they were great days, and it just took off. And I think it took off because I wasn't this great artist, but I could explain how to do something. And I think that was quite important back in the day.
That is so amazing. That's actually really inspiring. And you are a great artist, but I know what you mean because it felt relatable. Sometimes I feel that way too. Like I'm not really that great of an artist. And I get intimidated when I see these amazing artists like painted by Spencer. But I think sometimes that is so advanced that it leaves out a big conversation for people that don't feel like they're there. And they want to see it like on real skin and real texture and real, like up close, no filters. They want it to be real. And I think maybe that's a big part of the reason why you do so exceptionally well on YouTube too, because you are so real and you show it on, and people can see themselves in that because it's real. It's not filtered or heavily lit, or, you know, it doesn't look like a Vogue magazine. It looks like something you could try yourself. And I think people feel connected to that.
I appreciate that. I think also I was never drawn to the glam look, the heavy glam. I was never drawn to that. When I look at inspiration that I find today, and it's still the same works. It's Isabella Rossellini there was a film called Cousins that was like the late 80s, early 90s. She was so beautiful. She still is, but she was so beautiful. And it was those kind of makeup where the woman was so beautiful, but she wasn't quite aware that she was beautiful. So she wasn't heavily made up because she just wasn't aware that she was beautiful. And I always found that look so attractive. And it never left me. Like even today, when I'm working on other things, I'm always have these mood boards of these faces of these women from the 80s and the 90s that were just the most beautiful creatures who had no idea that they were beautiful. And that's what made them so. And I just wanted to recreate that look forever. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Well, I want to move into a tip. We're still going to be answering questions and we're still going to be going through all of this because it's so interesting. But I want to go into Wayne's first tip because this question popped up and this is one of your tips. So this is such a common question, you guys. What are the best tips for very wrinkly under eye and concealer? Any specific product recommendations for skincare, concealer, and color corrector? I have very dark circles.
Yeah, so I mean, most people who know me, and I can't see a thing now. So most people who know me know that the thing is with the eye area, it creases, right? It just creases. If you haven't had anything done like me, you crease under the eyes. And when you apply product under there, texture is what makes us look older or makes lines look more prominent. Whereas the only area of the skin that doesn't crease is right here in the tear duct area and moving down slightly. And when you apply concealer there, particularly, I like a corrector there. I don't want to cover it up with a concealer over it. I like the brightness. When you apply concealer there, it doesn't crease. You don't have to set it because it doesn't crease. And you're drawn to the center of the face with the eyes because that's the bit that's light. And it's just pretty. It's natural looking. It's low maintenance. And I just think, well, it looks pretty to me. And that's kind of all I want from somebody. But when you do have very dark circles and they come all the way underneath, yeah, you're going to have to put concealer on it. And yeah, you're going to have to accept the fact that it may make the under eye area look heavier, but then you get to pick your poison, right? What's worse, the darkness or perhaps the increased texture?
Yeah, that's a really good answer. Because you guys, you see, like when we smile, we have all the texture right here. So what he's saying is exactly that.
Nice
Like,
smile.
I do too. It's just hard to see because I have really good light.
No, you look amazing. I look 112.
Yeah, if you center it here, there is a question here that I saw. Oh, Claudia too. I bet Wayne's going to say Maxine's Revenge Concealer. What do you think about
So
that
good.
concealer?
So I've never, because people think when you like something, I've never been sponsored by them. I'm not affiliated with the brand either. I've never, she sent me a really nice message because I said that her concealer was like one of the best I'd ever used, and it really is. And she sent me a really, really nice message and a whole big bunch of flowers, right? That it was just insane. It's such a good concealer. It is on the heavy coverage side, and I tend to sheer things out regardless, but you just dot it on your face. I've always liked to use concealers in place of foundation and then just sheer them out, blend them out. It's beautiful. And hey, look at you. And it is quite self-setting as well. There you
Yeah,
go.
I have this collection in my concealer collection bin.
That's a lot of concealers.
Oh, this isn't even half of them. I have a problem. I really do. I bought 2 new ones yesterday.
The founder is so nice, and I love when somebody is like super kind. I'm all over the brand if I find out they're lovely.
Yeah, you guys, I did a tutorial on a woman in her 70s actually. And it's on my channel where she's a mid-tone skin like me with purple and blue really deep, but because she's in her 70s, she's got a lot of texture. That was a concealer that I used on her because it is very elastic. That's the only way I can explain it. It's almost like stretchy. You can smile and move and it's very elastic. So it's great for that. And I absolutely love their marketing. If you look at the pictures on the website,
It's great.
oh my, isn't it beautiful?
It's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Lori says, consider me influenced. Got to try it now. It's also Nikki LaRosa's. She loves that concealer too.
It's lovely. I love concealers because I like the applicator. I can just dot and then blend, because with foundations, I always found that just I say people, like they just over apply it for my taste. And I really hate to see product on skin. I just hate it. It's like I'll apply bronzer, blusher, anything first before foundation or concealer, because I don't need there to be product on product on product. Sometimes we just need less.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we do need less. When I was with Rosemary Swift in the US and we were hanging, she's the best.
She's amazing.
She's like my long lost soulmate. I'm like, were we the
gorgeous?
She is gorgeous.
Oh.
But she would say to me, because as an artist, I do sometimes go very far. And she said to me, honey, don't perfect yourself to death, because there's a line you cross where I think makeup lovers get in this way of doing it where you like love it so much. And then there's a line you cross where then the makeup actually looks worse than before. And so I love how you're saying it's the same as Rosemary says. She's like, don't perfect yourself to death. Like it's more attractive to just subtly camouflage, brighten, do all the little techniques, but then you got to pull back, because next thing you know, you have so much buildup, so much product, your skin doesn't look like skin, and you start losing the attractiveness. You got to really be careful not to cross that line.
It's hard to self-edit as well, though, I think, because when you love makeup, you're like, well, I want to play with it all. I want it all on my face because I love it so much, which is amazing, right?
Yes. I know. I'm the worst for that. And when I was in makeup school, like 5 million years ago, my teacher would always say that. She's like, more is not more. Like, stop. Because I'm like, that needs glitter. We need feathers. We need to glue on diamonds.
I did my course in London, and I'm not a fan of London, right? It's too big and busy and frightening. And when I got there, I was always very good at just skin. Like just skin is good for me. And the first day I was there, she offered me a job to work the school because she liked how I did foundation. When we got to eye and lip, yeah, she rescinded that application. She was like, "No, you can't work here," because and we couldn't sit on. I wasn't allowed to sit on a stool or anything as well. And I'm 6 foot, and all the models were on these really small chairs, and I was really struggling and having back pain. And I would like kneel on the floor, and she was like, "Don't kneel on the floor. You have to stand up." I was like,
Oh my
it
gosh.
was just, it was not for me. I was shocking at doing lips. It was all over the place.
Well, you can't paint when you don't have the right frame. Like you're in the wrong, if you're super tall and they're super low, like that's impossible. You can't
I
paint anything
thought so. I
that way.
think it was that, but I think in reality, it was also that I was just really shocking at lips. And I had to, like, I remember my grandmother and they would put the lipstick on and kind of move their lips to sort of create a slightly bigger mouth. And I never forgot that. And I do it to this day on people. So they because it's easier to trace than it is to draw. So when you've got the outline, you can trace around it and it's easy peasy. And that's
Yes.
what I kind of needed to learn with makeup is how to cheat my way through it.
I love that so much. It's what we're all doing. It's what we're all doing. All right. Let's talk about okay. I want to talk and I have another question for maturing skin. Is there one technique that you rely on over and over again for women over 40? Basically, no matter who you're working on, is there one technique they're like, I have to do this every time or it won't be right?
Yeah, we just talked about it as well. So for me, and it's not so much about being over 40, because I wish like everybody would do it. It's looking at your skin realistically. The majority of coverage, I think, not everyone, but the majority of people, the coverage starts kind of in the center of the face. They might be red around the nose. There's always the center. The outside perimeter, right? That's where we apply bronzer. That's where we apply blusher. If you apply that there first, you've got one layer of texture on the face. If you apply foundation first, that's one layer. Concealer's 2, blush is 3, bronzer's 4. It's a lot of layers. The more we take away those layers, the fresher the skin looks, the longer the skin lasts because you haven't got product over product over product. And things just look real. And you end up, in my mind, with this revenge skin where your skin is just beautiful and it looks like skin and you're not trying too hard to be beautiful. You just are naturally.
I love that. That actually brings me to another question that was up on here. Let's see if I can find it. It had to do with skin. Oh, here. This is a really good segue into that. What do y'all think of the skin tint era going on right now? Wayne, what do you think of like the skin tint era that we're all talking about?
So I love it, but the issue with skin tints is that they're just so sheer that you can burn through them in a month. So the way I do it is I've always really liked NARS foundations, NARS Sheer Glow. I think NARS Radiant foundation as well is beautiful. I would like use that and then use a pump of serum or a pump or 2 pumps of moisturizer or something like that. Shear it down. Your foundation is going to last you 4 times longer than a skin tint. You're going to get the exact same effect because now you've got the skin tints and they're like, oh, they've got all these skincare ingredients in, right? Well, just use your skincare, mix it with your foundation, and your foundation's got all the skincare in as well. And it's going to go a lot longer. I love it because skin looks like skin, but I just think you're going to burn through it and it's going to cost you some money.
You're so practical. It's the best.
It's like kind of grew up really poor and I'm like still trying to like pinch a penny wherever I can.
I think a lot of people really appreciate that. And times are really tough right now, and things have gotten astronomically expensive. And I think being able to stretch your dollar matters more now than ever. So It's really great advice, actually.
I'm so sorry. There's a comment here saying, what do you think about the Mally Beauty Face Defender? I absolutely love it. I think it is the most splendid thing. There's a drawer that you can't see because my whole room is really dark, but it is there. And I've got about 12 of them, which I bought from QVC in the UK. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, I got to try that one.
Like a block of silicone. It's nothing. Does not set the makeup, but it absolutely takes away the shine. And for those that hate powder, it is the most splendid thing on earth because there's no texture to it whatsoever.
Amazing. Huh.
She's also super lovely as well, Mally. She's such a nice person.
Is she British?
No, she's American, I believe. And she was really big on QVC and quite mental as well. Just a lot of fun. And so lovely as a human being. She was so nice to me. So nice.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, you guys, let me know in the live chat here. Do you guys want to do a few more questions, or do you want to go into another technique? Should we do another technique?
Go for it.
Let me know. Maybe we'll do another technique. So I'm going to tell you guys one that I think a lot of people make this mistake. And I hate using that word because there's no mistakes in art. But I can tell you with certainty that it's going to help a lot. And I've made this mistake on clients as well, and I've noticed it right away. When we get older, our skin loses some color. It becomes more like translucent. And so when we match our foundation to our skin exactly, what can start happening a little bit is we become really washed out. Now, I'm not saying you need to go a lot darker than your natural shade, but say you're in between shades. Say you're in between number 4 and number 3. Over the age of 45, 50, go for number 4. Go a little bit deeper than maybe even your natural, as long as you don't look orangey or weird. Stay in the right undertone, but get a little bit deeper because it's going to bring so much more, vitality back to your look really, really fast. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of like a hack for this, since we're on the topic of stretching our products, saving money. You can get something like L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. This is basically like a skin enhancer. So it's a luminizing product. You can use it in tons of different ways. You can use it alone for like luminescence on the skin, especially if your skin's very flat. You can use it on top of foundation as like a highlighter. You can mix it into your foundation to create more of like a luminous finish. You can mix it into a matte foundation to give it more of a satin finish, etc. There's so many different ways to use it, but if you get a shade that's a little bit deeper than your skin tone and you mix it in, you're basically morphing your foundation color just a little bit so that you end up with a more bronzy glow. Typology also has those glow drops, and it does a really good job of doing this too. You're not going to end up orange. You're just going to add like a subtlety or a warmth to the tone that's super, super, super flattering. Yeah, do you see that? So even if you look at that foundation, right? And then you look at, the annoying thing about my camera is it only wants to focus on my eyes. So I have to block my eyes for you guys to see it. Can you see it? There we go. So you mix, mix, mix. Do you see how we're adding a little bit of warmth, a little bit of glow in there? And you put that on your face and you're going to get like a healthiness to it, like you've been in the sun a little bit. This is a really easy way to make yourself look very healthy and youthful very fast. Another way to do that, if you don't like mixing products, is to use like a tinted sunscreen underneath your makeup that's a little bit darker than your skin. So the RMS Supernatural Radiant Serum, this is a tinted sunscreen with an SPF of 30. The medium aura is actually quite dark. It's darker than my skin even. I'm almost out of this because I use it so much. I don't even know if I can squeeze any out. But when I use it under my foundation, it basically gives me like a little bit of a tan as an underpaint. And then when I go on top of it with a tinted serum or whatever that I'm using on that day, I instantly look so much more youthful and so much more healthy. Like I've been in the sun a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's one of my big tips that I think makes a big difference, especially as you get older. Do you agree, Wayne?
I was actually thinking a while, I did a video recently, but when I used to, if somebody had rosacea, the one thing I would always say is you need to deepen your foundation. Gotta be, because everything sometimes if there's a lot of redness you're putting on your exact skin color, it isn't enough. It's not enough to cut through it. By deepening it slightly, you're going to cut through that redness without having to use any weird color correctors or anything like that. And your skin will just look healthier. Most people, unless you're like alabaster, most people look very well with color in their face. They look healthier. You're the only person actually who's ever talked about darkening the skin, deepening the skin slightly to deal with issues. Because most people, I'll use green or no.
I know it's like a hack and it's so much easier than doing all of the color correcting. And it really does make you look so good.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, look at Heather even saying here, I suffer from rosacea. He's absolutely correct. He's absolutely right. Whoops, sorry. There we go.
I always found, I understand the color correcting thing. I was never very good at the color wheel either, but I understand it. But to me, like when you would see people putting on green or like bright orange or bright red, you're just putting on another unnatural color that you're going to have to hide with another really heavy foundation. I never kind of got it, never understood it the same way.
I know. Unless you shear it out, the green can be tough. I have a green corrector here that I was just using. This one's from NYX. And it can be like, look at this color.
Look how green it is. That's really green.
Yeah, it can be tough if you're not very experienced. And there's something else to be said about the hand of an artist. So you see it on YouTube, you see these artists working and you'll do the same thing. You're like, it doesn't look like that, but I use the same products, the same brushes I followed. And it's because when artists become really skilled, it's like their hands are so much of the end result. It's not the product or the brush. So you can follow it exact, but it won't be the same. And I think that can be the case for things like heavy color correctors. You'll see an artist do it. And it's like amazing. You're like, why can't I'm doing it the same? And it's because they have the dexterity that changes the end result that you might not have yet. You could get it later, but it will take time.
I think when I do stuff on YouTube, I am so much heavy-handed, and on someone else, I am not that way. I am very, very soft, and I hold the brush in a certain way, and it's very soft on somebody else. It's very subtle. And on me, I will slap it on because it's my face, and I'm much more heavy-handed. And I think artists in general, we have a knack for doing things very, very precisely and delicately and kindly, because it's someone else. We don't want to hurt them.
I'm a little heavy-handed on YouTube too. Sometimes I look back at my footage and I'm like, too much bronzer.
I do all the time. I'm going to stay at myself at the end.
You look in the monitor, you're like, they can't even see it. They can't even see it. And then you look at the footage, you're like, oh my God.
I've got this monitor there, right? And I still don't know how to calibrate it to the same color as my actual camera. So like, I've got no hope in hell. It's like, I just hope that when I see the footage, it looks moderately okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Lori is so thoughtful. This is a super thing.
Love her.
Got to send my support and coffee funds. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. Lori, I love you so, so, so much. You are the best. I always look forward to having you in the live streams, not just because of the super thanks, but because you have the best questions, and we're really grateful to have you. I'm really grateful to have you as a part of this community. So thank you so much. That means a lot. Okay, I have this question too that I want to answer. It's a great question. Do you also go darker when dealing with age spots? Do you want to take this one, Wayne?
Yeah, sure. No, unless there is something on the skin that, like we were talking about with redness or rosacea, no, I would go really sheer, and then I would go in unless you're covered in them, right? If you're covered in something, then I say you go for a full coverage foundation, do what makes you feel good, because the last thing you need is to be taking a small brush and correcting every single thing on your face. It is soul destroying. If that's the case, cover your skin straight away. But if you've only got a few age spots that you're concerned about, sheer foundation, get a like Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, and just cover what needs covering and let the rest just be delicious.
Yeah, I love that. Let the rest be delicious. If there's a specific age spot that's bothering you, the way that I cover it, I call it micro editing. You guys may have heard me talk about that in videos where you do your sheer wash, you step back and you micro edit. So you pinpoint edit what's bothering you, only on the areas where it's really a problem. If you're going to cover age spots, my recommendation is to use a pot concealer over a liquid concealer. So instead of something that's in a bottle, I would use something that's in a pot, because a pot concealer is going to be a cream-based concealer, which means you're going to get fuller coverage from it. I would apply it with your little pinpoint, wait a little bit for it to dry down slightly, become a little bit more viscous, and then push and pat. If it's very dark, I would lean in with a peach toned corrector first, depending on your skin color. If you're very fair skinned, you want to do more of like a pink toned corrector, but usually it leans from pink to peach to dark orange if you're very deep toned skin. But you can lean in with that corrector first, let it dry fully, then go in with the concealer or the foundation that's your skin color. That will help. But I agree, don't perfect yourself to death, as Rosemary would say.
Yeah, I love her.
I would really love to talk about this. Heather said, if you guys haven't tried Wayne's Dab Buff Blur method, you're missing out. Strategically, of course. That way you don't look mental. Can you explain this, please?
Oh, I don't even know what that is. I just saw it and I was thinking, did I do that? I don't remember doing that. It's also like 10 to 12 at night. So I could just have it absolutely be just delirious. I'm not entirely sure what that is.
No worries. Heather, you wanna
Yeah, explain it to me so I can pretend it's mine.
All right. And then it goes here. This is a good question too. How do you go darker without making the color look off against your paler neck? So you don't want to go so dark that you're not matching your skin, right? You just don't want to go so pale that you're looking washed out. And also, I always connect my face to my neck. I don't do a full coverage on my neck, but I always connect and shear it out. So the main focus of coverage for me is center of the face. It gets more sheer as we get to the external perimeters of the face, but it will always get dragged down to like about here. What about you, Wayne?
Yeah, I was literally going to say, your face, your neck, your body, they all need to be in the same tone. They really do. And that's always been a problem. If your face is darker than your neck, you're going to have to deepen your neck with some bronzer. You're going to have to do something. The same with like a lot of times with women, they'll wear something so that there's chest showing off here. And again, I always used to say, put your chin to your chin. That's the color. Your chest is normally darker. If that's the case, it has to match your face. So you go darker with your face or you use bronzer. Yes, you're going to need to put it. It's a lot, right? But these are the things that you have to do to become one. Because we've all seen people whose faces are one color and their bodies are another, right? We don't want to be those people. You don't. It's not good for you.
Yeah, the disconnect it can be stark. You two have just made me feel so much more secure about my age spots. Mid-tone skin, peach corrector not effective, orange is too orange. I'm so glad we made you feel better about your age spots, your wisdom spots.
There's like, so I don't know. I think it was you I was speaking to. Apologize if it wasn't, but it's like we're so. It's wonderful to want to take care of yourself. It's wonderful that you love makeup, but like, don't let it be your life. It's so insignificant when you, if you become sick, or someone, you won't care about your age spots ever again. They will never bother you. You want to live, you want to be healthy. Never forget that makeup and all this, it's all nonsense. It's just a bit of fun to help us through life. It's not our life.
Totally. Oh my gosh, is that ever true? Oh, and Laura just sent a super thanks. Oh my gosh, Laura, 57 years young today. Happy birthday! Started following you both last year, have relearned how to love skincare and makeup again. Love to you both. Oh my gosh, love right back to you. Thank you so much.
You have very nice people on your chat.
I know, I have the best community ever. It's crazy.
It's lovely, right?
It's literally the best. I'm so grateful for everyone. Okay, let me ask you one of mine again. We only have 10 more minutes with you. You got to get to bed.
I really do.
This is a good one. What's one thing that women over 40 are often told to do that you actually disagree with?
That's a very good question. What's the one thing women over 40 are often told to do that I disagree with? It's not that I disagree with it. Somebody mentioned it earlier on in the comments. It was such a poignant question. It was about social media. And that just got me thinking. The thing that I find horrifying about social media is the overuse of filters to the point where you no longer resemble yourself, but you're portraying that version of yourself to your followers, to your fans, to whoever, and they are believing, even though we don't believe, we are still believing that this is you, this is your skin. And it is a horrifying thing for young children to witness and see, because it is not achievable. And it is horrifying as we get older, because we believe that is how we have to look. Yeah. And it goes back to what I was just saying about, if you were to get poorly, you won't give a shit. Sorry, you will not care at all about any of it. And the social media thing is what has to stop. It shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be able to portray something that is not true. On the face filters.
Yes. Yeah, Christine even asked, do you think social media has benefited or harmed the makeup industry, and why?
Yeah, it's done both. It's benefited it. It's harmed our industry, because now there are these really talented individuals who can do their own makeup, and then they hire you. They're like really disappointed because they can do their makeup better than you can. But it's harmed a generation. It is absolutely harmed our children. It is harming our children irreparably, and it has to stop. And I don't have kids, and thankfully, and I would be horrified if they were on social media and they were witnessing how they think people should look. And I find it shocking and terrifying.
I could not agree with you more. Like, even as a working artist, when I still had, now I do, I work on YouTube full time, but up until, a couple of years ago, I had full clientele all day, every day, all week. I was on set, and I would get every week, people would show me a picture like, I want this makeup. And I'm like, that's not even makeup. That's like an AI rendering like that. I can get like what, and I'd say, what do you like about it? Because it's not real. I can give you the same color family. I can give you, but they would always, it's like a perpetual disappointment because it doesn't look like an AI or like a Instagram filter, a TikTok filter. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, like I am 40 years old and I struggle with it constantly. Like even my team, when we're doing our team meetings and we're going through video footage and editing videos and all that, it's like, should we just put a little bit of a skin filter on it? Like it looks really unflattering here. Like, should we just soften that a little bit? And my team's like, Gabby, you don't have to be perfect. And I get all these comments now, like, it's so, it's a breath of fresh air that your skin looks normal and it's not filtered. But I'm not going to lie, when I post live on that video, I feel so self-conscious because it doesn't look like a lot of the other beauty YouTubers. It doesn't look as good because it's real.
Yeah.
And it totally makes me self-conscious. And I'm 40 years old. I can't imagine if I was 17.
It's horrifying. Somebody mentioned, and there's a comment here as well about AI. And I had to have my photos taken a couple of weeks ago for something. And I'm not a big fan of sitting there and doing that. But when I do, or should I say, my partner does my thumbnails, and even I will use AI. And it's my face, but it's being put into different situations and different scenarios. And even I think to myself, oh God. And it's like I see this version of me and it's me, but it's not really me. And then I'll be saying to my partner, you can't use that. That looks horrific. And it's not just because the skin is overly glossy or I look about 12. It's just, it's not me, right? It's a weird version of me that is odd and frightening and not real.
Yes.
Bizarre.
She's saying here, hi from Queensland, Australia. How do you feel about companies using AI to sell their products?
You can, I think if you know what to look for, you can spot it a mile away. You can see it a mile away. You think, that's not real. And I don't like it. I don't think it should be allowed. I really don't.
Yeah. I know sometimes it can be helpful. Like sometimes when I do my hairstyling inspiration, like haircut inspiration videos, and I'm talking about the most flattering haircuts for a round face, I can't find all these real women with round faces and the haircuts I want to talk about and to show you how it's flattering. So I'll use AI renderings. So it can be so helpful, but it can be so toxic too. It's like, you know,
I think it's like everything, right? You use it in the right proportion and then you've got this, it's beautiful, but it's no different. I mean, it's different, but it's no different to any cosmetic procedure. You get something done and it's lovely, but then you get another thing done and then another thing done. And then it's this never ending situation where you're chasing a wrinkle. And, you know, that's when you go down that rabbit hole of suddenly one day you wake up and you no longer look like yourself and you didn't see it happening.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We know that all too well.
I'll wait till that happens to me.
Oh, I already see it. I have a friend who's a plastic surgeon who's been on my live streams twice, Dr. Corey Goldberg. And he said the problem with the beauty industry right now is that, and the beauty industry almost always is that beauty is holistic. It's the sum of all parts. It's someone's aura and their vitality and their health. And it's not like one thing, but as people, we will hyper focus on one wrinkle, one bump on our nose, one, uneven lip line, and then we'll fix this. And when we fix it, we then move to the next thing and then the next thing. And then the next thing, you look super weird, but you can't even see it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the problem.
Can't help it. Yeah. It's you see yourself every single day. It takes strangers to remind you you've lost weight because you see yourself every single day. And that's the problem. You do not see what's happening because of these cosmetic procedures. And it's great. Do what makes you happy, but never lose the essence of who you are and what it is you want to look like. Because, I don't think it fools anyone in real life, not really.
Totally. Jackie's even saying here, all flowers are beautiful. If you look at which one, only comparison makes one more beautiful than the other. See, it's a
Yeah,
sum of all parts. You don't look at a bouquet of flower and think, this one's kind of this and that one's kind of that. It's the
yeah,
whole thing
yeah,
together. That's beautiful.
absolutely.
One more quick question here before I let you go to bed. What kind of lighting do you use while doing your own makeup so that it can be true to the colors as much as possible?
So, I mean, obviously for me, it doesn't really apply because I don't wear makeup in real life. But the best makeup for is daylight, the harsh reality of daylight. It is a beautiful thing. If your makeup looks good in broad daylight, it will look good in every single situation that follows.
Yeah.
And also, daylight is the most beautiful. You know, if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where there's actually sun and you see it in the sky, then this is a beautiful thing. Apply it. You know, look at yourself, be grateful you're alive and that you have the opportunity to do this.
I know. I really wish we had daylight here.
Yeah, me too.
Instead
So
of dreary.
we saw something in the sky today and it was bright and yellow. And I was like, what does it do?
I know. Every time I get that first blast of sunlight from the spring, I'm like, I feel like I'm on drugs. I'm like, what is this feeling of joy?
Those that live in a cooler country and who don't see the sun sort of every day, you know, our temperatures that we feel are quite warm to most people. They're like still in a jumper and we're like in shorts and t-shirt, just thinking it's like the best day ever. It's just like this was today here. It really wasn't hot at all, but the sun was out, t-shirts were on, shorts were on. Oh, it's lovely. It's not warm at all. We were just grateful.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, so we need to do our makeup outside. Great way
No,
to
not outside, just by the window.
just by the window. And if you don't have sunlight, you know what you can get? You can get a little ring light
Yeah.
with a mirror in the middle.
Ooh.
That's what I have in my bathroom. It's a ring light and I set it slightly warm. It can be set to cool, like totally flat or warm because I have a warm skin tone. I set it at slightly warm so that I don't like blue myself out and then I lose perspective on my shading. So just set it to your kind of skin level or skin undertone, I would say. If you're really fair, don't go into the yellow warm light. Stay more in the cooler blue light. That's really helpful if you cannot do your makeup near a window. But a window is still like way better, way, way, way better.
It's lovely as well you mentioned about the because I'm here, I've got a very cool light and you know, I'm actually I've got some color in me. You wouldn't think it because of how this really cool light is hitting my skin. It's like my skin is the same color as my top. And it can really put people, because everybody thinks you need this really pale kind of white cool light to do your makeup. No, you need something neutral, not something off blue.
It will shift your perspective a lot.
Yeah. Everyone thinks they've got really cool. I've got such a cool. No, you don't.
It's your light.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Wayne. This was so fun.
Thank you. What a pleasure. Thank you so much, Gabby.
It was a pleasure to have you. And thank you guys for watching, for being the most supportive viewers of life. Oh my gosh, what? Jenny! Thank you to Wayne, whom I adore, and to Gabby, who shines so bright. You both have helped change my life. Much love to you both. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind.
That is so thoughtful. Thank you, Jenny. We are so happy to be here for you. Oh, we loved being together. Wayne, you're going to have to come back.
I would love to. This has been such fun. It really has. 11
p.m. next week. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, can we make it 6?
Yes, we can. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night.